Sophia had always enjoyed the simple pleasures of Instagram. She loved capturing the beauty of everyday life, a well-made latte, her cat basking in the sunlight, the vibrant colors of a sunset. It was her little window to the world, a way to share the moments that made her smile. One night, while scrolling through her feed before bed, Sophia noticed something strange. Among the usual posts from friends and influencers, there was an image she didn't recognize. A grainy, black and white photo of an empty room. The walls were bare, the floor covered in dust, and there was a single wooden chair in the center. It looked old, abandoned, and unsettlingly familiar. Sophia paused. She didn't remember following anyone who posted such eerie content. Curiosity got the better of her, and she tapped on the profile. The account had no profile picture, no bio, and only one post, the same photo she had just seen. The username was a string of random letters and numbers that made no sense. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just some random account that had followed her. But as she was about to exit, she noticed the photo's caption. It read, "You're sitting here right now." Sophia's heart skipped a beat. She glanced around her room, trying to shake off the creeping unease. Of course, she wasn't sitting in that room. It was just some weird coincidence. Maybe someone was playing a prank on her. She scrolled past it, trying to forget about the unsettling image. But as she continued to browse, her phone buzzed with a notification. She had received a direct message from that same creepy account. The message was just a single sentence. "Look at your camera roll." Sophia's hands trembled as she opened her phone's camera roll. Her heart pounded in her chest when she saw the latest photo. It was the same black and white image of the empty room, but this time, the chair wasn't empty. Someone was sitting in it. Her. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. How could this be? She hadn't taken any photos like that, hadn't even been in a room like that. Her mind raced with possibilities, but none of them made sense. The room looked too familiar, like a place she had seen before, but couldn't place. She quickly locked her phone and tossed it aside, trying to convince herself that it was just some sick joke. But she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The image of herself sitting in that chair was burned into her mind. Unable to sleep, she turned on every light in her apartment and sat up in bed, clutching her phone. The room felt colder, the shadows deeper. Every creak of the floorboards made her jump. Another notification. Sophia's heart sank as she saw it was another message from the same account. She hesitated before opening it, dreading what she might see. This time, the message contained a video file. She stared at it, her finger hovering over the play button. Part of her wanted to delete it, to pretend none of this was happening. But another part of her, the part that needed to understand, needed to know. She tapped play. The video was shaky, as if filmed by a handheld camera. It showed someone walking through a dark, narrow hallway. The walls were old, cracked, and covered in peeling paint. There was no sound except for the faint hum of static. The person filming reached a door at the end of the hall and slowly pushed it open. Sophia's blood ran cold as the camera panned into the room. It was the same room from the photo, but now it was lit by a single dim bulb hanging from the ceiling. The chair was still there, and sitting in it was a figure, a woman with her back to the camera, wearing the same clothes Sophia had on that night. The camera moved closer, circling around to face the woman. Sophia gasped. The woman in the chair wasn't just dressed like her, it was her. The video showed her sitting motionless, staring blankly ahead, as if in a trance. The camera zoomed in on her face, capturing every detail. The dark circles under her eyes, the blank expression, the slow, shallow breaths. Then suddenly, the screen went black. Sophia stared at her phone, her heart hammering in her chest. She didn't know what to do, who to call. It felt like she was trapped in a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. A final message appeared on her screen from the same account. "You're already here." Her phone slipped from her trembling hands as she felt a cold breath on the back of her neck. Slowly, she turned around, but the room was empty. The lights flickered, and for a split second, she thought she saw a shadow in the corner. Panic surged through her as she scrambled to grab her phone and run. But as she reached the door, she stopped. The hallway outside her room, it was the same as in the video. Sophia never logged into Instagram again. No one ever heard from her after that night. Her account remained, though, just a profile with no posts, no bio, and a single follower. The username was a string of random letters and numbers.